Hey, thank you for coming by my YouTube site again. It's Tori. It is December, it's moving along, 19th. Anyway, it's definitely flying along. I had a wonderful night tonight. I got to spend it with some excellent friends and some fabulous, now happily out Scientologists, Sea Org and non-Sea Org. And it's kind of wonderful to be around people that are really free. And this is a video called Stand Up. And for people that are lurking, I'm going to tell you something. If you're in the Sea organization, stand up. If you want to leave, walk out the door. There is no one holding you there. I know they have those giant, things. They've got the fences with the big scissor things on them. It looks really ominous when you're there. It's very scary. But you know what? The truth is, every person I know who left, they just left. I mean, in the old days, Jesse Prince left with shotguns on David Miscavige, right? But he got out. I know some guys who hid in wagons underneath hay because it was in an Indian field, and the Indians got him out. Different people had to do different things, but you know what? They took a stand and they got out. Now, Scientology is going to say, oh, no, we don't ever keep anybody anywhere. They're there by their own right. And they are. But with peer pressure and mind control, there's a lot of things that can happen that really aren't someone's choice. They're their choice because it's agreed upon by every single person that's in their world. And immediately when you get in Scientology, they start cutting off anybody that doesn't agree with you. So like myself, by the time I left, having been in for 30 years, I didn't know anybody who wasn't a Scientologist. Every one of my friends were Scientologists. It was really scary. So I say to you right now, take a stand. If you're in the Sea Org, which is their top thing, take a stand, walk out, okay? If you're on staff, which are, there's different levels in Scientology. There's RTC, which is way at the top. There's, I'm not even going to list all their things, but there's a whole bunch of management things. Then there's the advanced organizations and FLAG. FLAG is above the advanced organizations. FLAG is where they deliver OT7. The Free Ones is where they deliver OT8. And then AOLA here in Los Angeles, and they have some other AOs around the world, they deliver the OT levels. And then the American St. Hill, all of these are Sea Org that I'm listing. They deliver the St. Hill briefing course, special briefing course, and some auditing, power, and various different auditing levels. Now below that are just class 4 orgs, that's what they're called, which are when you see LA org at the complex with the big blue where people are picketing, the first thing there, that's the Los Angeles organization, and that's a class 4 org. It's run still now by Sea Org, but still a lot of the staff are just Monday to Friday or nights and weekends. They're not Sea Org, even though it's run by the Sea organization guys. And then, of course, you've got all the, below that was the missions, which used to be a huge network. It's what really built Scientology. But David Miscavige and L. Ron Hubbard managed to tear that apart in the 80s. And that used to be, literally, those people were all around the world, and they were the people that got new people into the Church of Scientology. But once they broke that up, because it used to be your own business. It was yours, you made the money, that's it. Whereas once they tore that apart, you had to report up to RTC, just like the Sea organization. And a lot of people went, forget it, we're not doing it. We don't want to do that. So there was that. Then you've also got the front groups, which is ABLE, you've got Applied Scholastics, Narconon, Criminon. You've also got Citizens Commission on Human Rights Against Psychiatry. All of these are under the umbrella of the Church of Scientology. Narconon has to do with drugs, drug education, getting people off of drugs, whether successful or not. A lot of people go back on drugs from it. Criminon is in the prisons, and that's pretty much run by people like myself, when I was in, women that are writing to criminals and trying to do Way to Happiness with them. Way to Happiness is another front group where they get the doctors, dentists, anybody, any kind of an opinion leader and pull them in and try to get them to pay for the booklets, the Way to Happiness booklets, saying we're going to get out, we found such and such as a button, they find something from the Way to Happiness, and this booklet will help your community. If you pay for it, which is usually like $10, $20, $30,000. We'll get all the books out. Everybody will get your name on it because it'll be slapped on the back. What they don't know is now Scientology uses it, going, well, Dr. So-and-so is all for L. Ron Hubbard, so you should be too, right? So that's the Way to Happiness scam. Wise is another one. I did the video on that earlier, but that's a big one. And they have a ton of businesses under the umbrella of Wise, which is under the umbrella of the Church of Scientology. Even though they all try to say they're different, they're not. They're all under the same thing. They all report their statistics up lines every week to the same people way up lines. And anybody can take a stand and leave. You know, if you're not happy, if you're not doing well, and by well and happy, I don't mean what you think the group, you know, like Hubbard had, you know, the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics, right? Which is like, you know, if everybody's happy, then, like Hubbard, he used to say, this was an interesting thing, because he used to say, nobody's going to get free unless we all get free. And I kind of like that. I thought, wow, that's cool. You know, everybody's going to get free, right? But then he changed it. He came out with this executive directive. See, L. Ron Hubbard executive directive. See if you can read it. And it's Ron's Journal From Clear to Eternity. Yeah, Ron's Journal 35, From Clear to Eternity. And he kind of spells out how everybody's going to get clear to eternity. But the big change in it is number 6. He says the actual OT levels beginning now with OT 8 and going on up. Right? Let's see if you can see that. It's number 6 right here. Let's see. I'm not too good at this. There you go. The actual OT level begins the new OT 8 and going on up. Okay? So that's from L. Ron Hubbard. There you go. It's an L. Ron Hubbard directive. So that kind of changed it from, you know, nobody's going to go free unless everybody goes free to, hey, you know, some of us are going to make it and some of us aren't. So, you know, it just... That was the changing of the OT levels, right? All the rest of them were pre-OT. And then the other thing he says in this is, I think towards the end, he says, okay, this was the change. I can't promise you that you will make it. I can only promise the knowledge and give you your chance. The rest is up to you. I strongly advise you work hard at it. Don't waste this brief breath in eternity. For that is your future, eternity. It will be good for you or bad. And for you, my dearest friend, I've done what I could to make it good for you. I know. For you guys that know the whole story, it's like, come on. But, you know, when we were in, most of us who got in, we got in when we were, you know, in our 20s. They didn't have the internet. We didn't have access to information. If you wanted to know critical information, you had to leave the Church of Scientology and pretty much be declared a suppressive person. For anybody who's missed it, here's my SP Declare. Tori Bazazian declared suppressive. There you go. And once you're declared suppressive, no one is allowed to talk to you at all, including your family. It's pretty heavy. I mean, it's very heavy. And it's one of the biggest abuses Scientology does, and it's one of the biggest reasons, disconnection is one of the biggest reasons why I speak out. Because I am so, it just kills me that they're breaking up families the way they do. And to hear children say that, no, they don't want to talk to their parents because they're critical of Scientology, it's like, no, it's not okay. It isn't okay at all. And for them to do fair game, where Hubbard said you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly, no. So take a stand. Stand up. Don't keep doing this stuff, because it isn't good. It isn't right. And if you know in your heart that it isn't right, it isn't right. Okay? It doesn't matter what the group says or what David Miscavige says or what your senior says. If you in your heart know that it isn't right, follow your heart. do what you know is right, take a stand, come on out here. You do not need to be in there. It is a totalitarian organization. It is, in my opinion, it is not religious. It certainly is far from religion as I ever have seen a religion be. Where you've got, fair game and stopping free speech and breaking up families and, these things that are just not right. Plus, let's just talk about the belief side of it. And they don't have beliefs. They don't have faith. They don't believe in a God. Hubbard tacked on the eighth dynamic, the higher powers, whatever you believe that to be, but they never talk about it. They don't have church services. They have a phony church service on Sunday because we in Clearwater realized, we don't have any church service. We better do something so we look like a church. So we started these Sunday services. And nobody goes to them. They're just a PR thing. If you go to L. Ron Hubbard's life exhibition, at the end you'll see the keys to all the cities. Well, why is that? Is it because every city honestly wanted L. Ron Hubbard to be a part of their city? Or is it because somebody actively worked over and over on that until they finally got a key? It's the second. It's because they actively worked on it, okay? So these little worker bees are out working around. But you, if you're in and you want to come out, come on out. It is very fun out here. We are having an excellent time. And to all of the critics and all of Anonymous, I cannot thank you enough. I know I've said it before, but the fabulous results that have come about because of the people that have taken a stand is amazing. And I hope more people do it. I know they'll do it. So it might as well be you. And for the people that are taking a stand, I can't thank you enough. It is fantastic. And it's only going to get better and better and better. So you might as well be on the side where we're having a good time. All right? So I hope you're having a very happy holiday, and I will talk to you very soon.